Sneasel. I like it. Not to the point of addiction like other Pokemon, but to the point where I'd probably keep one as a pet. And it would honestly probably rob me, but whatever, we're getting off track. The Sneasel family is huge, and I can't help but wonder how we got here. It just keeps growing gradually and I sort of love it. It's been a while since the Sneasel family has been shown some love, and someone has to step up to the plate to do it. So get ready, because who's bored? I'm bored. And today we'll be looking through Sneasel's history and hopefully answer several burning questions, like whether it's a cat or a weasel. We can probably start off with its design, though I'll try not to say anything you can obviously just look at. In alpha builds of Gen 2 we can see that they actually started off with it looking exactly like a weasel. Oh wow, we answered that quick. And then it slowly began to change over time. I get why it changed honestly, since its original design was so lame. It's memorable, but it lacks much of its identity. I don't remember it because it's super awesome. I remember it because Sneasel somehow used to look like it. But the timeline is honestly crazy to look at. They made it more cartoony, they gave it pitch black fur, and way more cat traits, and eventually made it much cuter. Sneasel's design is immediately lovable. It's filled with attitude, sass, and it's hard to not at least sort of want. Look, I have a pet Sneasel for this video. Isn't it cute? I thought it would be nice to have here. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Sneasel is really bad. See, the problem was that Sneasel, at the time, was a one-stage Pokemon, so it didn't evolve. In Gold you couldn't find it until beating all gym leaders in both Kanto and Johto, and its type combo of Ice and Dark was 4 times weak to fighting. This meant that Sneasel was kind of silly and randomly placed. It was cute, but sort of pointless at this time.
Can't help but think you have something against me.
Did you just say something?
No.
Oh, okay. Generation 3 didn't do any better for Sneasel. In fact, it went a lot worse. Not that I need to dwell on its failures for too long.
Rude.
Not only were there actually good fighting moves to hurt it, but it was becoming more and more underpowered.
What the hell, man?
Not to say anything
Really?
about its extremely low availability, only being found at the end of Fire Red, way towards the back of the postgame. Basically, Sneasel's intro was not strong at all.
Oh, okay.
So pinpointing exactly how and when it became so loved is hard.
You really
if I had
think
to take
loving
a
me
guess
is
as to
hard?
why people felt
Have you
so
looked in a
drawn to
mirror?
it, it could have
How
had
do you even
something to
love
do with the
yourself when
alley
you look
cat
so
roots.
ugly?
And can you shut the hell up? Thank you. It could have had something to do with its alley cat roots. People just find cats cute, and Sneasel, as much as we might protest, is one. That's right. I'm proposing that its entire popularity is founded on nothing but its cuteness. It just never had any sort of power or prominence anywhere, so I just think it's unlikely that it became popular for its raw strength. I'm willing to fight in the trenches that Sneasel is beloved because it's the ultimate cat Pokemon, being mischievous and fast, and making more sense as a pet than an actual thing you catch and train. Not a bad start in my opinion, but how about the next member of the family, Weavile? Weavile is where I'd wager most of the family's popularity came from, and I'm sure everyone would agree, at least those that remember Diamond and Pearl. See, Weavile was part of a big end generation movement to evolve tons of past Pokemon, and I find Weavile so interesting because it's almost hard to remember that it was added 2 generations after Sneasel. Actually, I'd bet money that most adults today don't know that Weasel was just another Sinnoh evolution. This speaks to just how natural it is. It's the perfect evolution. It's much stronger and faster, fully capitalizing on its powerful but frail typing, and its design has also been fleshed out way more. It's clearly pulling from Egyptian traits while still maintaining its small and cat-like look. It's lovable, but way stronger looking, and honestly even a little bit scarier. I'm not sure if it's the posing, or the fact that it just looks sleazier, but I'm fully convinced it would rob me now.
So are you gonna bother mentioning the fandom's part in this? Or will you just dodge internet culture like usual?
Are you reading my script? Don't do that, it's rude. Anyway, I'd be a dishonest narrator if I didn't talk about the influence of online culture on Sneasel and Weavile's fame. The Pokemon fandom nowadays truly is a shell of its former self, and that isn't an understatement. Yes, once upon a time we harnessed cringe for the greater good, and let me tell you, it was glorious. One of the things I still hold near and dear to me are all the mystery dungeon OCs made of all sorts of Pokemon, and then the fanfics that would get written. However, there was always a core of Pokemon that got more attention than others. Lucario, Pikachu, most starters, Eevee, and Sneasel. Now this list isn't only these, not at all, but Sneasel was definitely up there with the others. It was a no-brainer and it really helped contribute to both it and Weavile's fame. Although Weavile OCs weren't common, it was a wildly popular choice on teams and was generally the more beloved of the two. In its intro generation, it was on most teams. I used my starter to rip through the whole game, and it was somehow still on mine. Sneasel and Weavile truly stood as monoliths of the Pokemon community and, in a lot of ways, solidified their relevance forever.
Well, that was a quick video. You really don't have any more to say?
We're halfway through.
What?
It's time to talk about Hisuian Sneasel, which was introduced in Generation 8.
Is that like a caveman version of me? Are you like mocking me?
See, Sneasel and Weavile had no shortage of success over the years. In fact, its history parallels Lucario nicely, being available in almost every single game following Weavile's introduction, only skipping Sun and Black 2. It also appeared in Pokken Tournament, which was surprising as very few Pokemon earned that honor. And obviously its popularity has been consistent, since it earned respect through blood, sweat, and tears, no marketing machine to keep it going, so it was a no-brainer that it got a regional form. What is shocking is that Stunfisk got one first. Hisuian Sneasel is, in my opinion, about as cute as the first.
That felt offensive, but whatever.
While Sneasel feels like a dark alley cat, Hisuian Sneasel feels like its ancient and unruly ancestor, which is what it is. But it definitely looks way more snuggly and, acknowledging that my eyes may be tricking me, fluffier too. Now then, guess its type. No really, pause the video and just give it a go. When I first saw it, I definitely thought it was ice and poison. I mean, Sneasel was ice and dark, so it only made sense. If you agree, then you're wrong and should feel bad. It was poison and fighting for some inexplicable reason, and this type is arguably the worst thing about it. It has a double weakness to Psychic and mixes an offensive type with a supporting type. I have mixed feelings about it. On one hand, it's a super interesting variant of Sneasel that recaptures the spark of the original while becoming its own thing. On the other, it's an inferior clone that struggles to justify its own existence beyond being another Sneasel.
So I'm basically the best thing that starts with a Snee.
No, Sneasler is.
What?
See, Generation 8 introduced a weird trend that Game Freak upholds to this very day, being that some regional forms get exclusive evolutions. And, in a stroke of genuine genius, Hisuian Sneasel evolves into a brand new Pokemon, Sneasler. I adore Sneasler so much, some might call it an addiction.
Do you not feel any shame when you say crazy things like that?
I'm not feeding you tonight. Anyway, Sneasler feels like such a unique and cool Pokemon, but also a great addition to the rest of the Sneasel family. Its name is great, since it represents what it is scarily well. It's just a really long Sneasel, with longer claws and longer hair. It's not quite Sneasel, it's Sneasler. It's so dumb that it's genius. Its signature move is Dire Claw, which has a 30% chance to inflict the enemy with one of 3 status conditions, and although it's not very helpful in Legends, it helped it become a competitive threat in Scarlet and Violet. I also just think it's pretty adorable. The purples and hot pinks on its design mixed with its attitude just make it my sort of Pokemon. It's a little unfortunate, though, that Hisuian Sneasel and Sneasler are so disliked. I think I understand, because Sneasler can be a little shocking at first glance. It's just really lanky and can look unnatural, especially since you first see it as an alpha. And Hisuian Sneasel definitely took out some of the traits that made Sneasel every teenage poker fan's favorite self-insert fodder, like the cool gothic / chic colors, and the general attitude. Whatever the case, I definitely like them a lot, and they'll continue to be my Skrunklies. In general, I love the Sneasel family. Their history is so interesting and they just never seem to go away. Rightfully so, because they're all cute and memorable designs as well as influential Pokemon that went on to shape their respective generations. My hope is that the family continues to grow, whether through more regional variants or whatnot. I just want more. Oh yeah, I kinda forgot you were here. Anything you want to say before you hopefully never show up again?
Subscribe to Spooky Pookie, and be sure to follow him on TikTok and Blue Sky.
And remember to follow my Tumblr and Blue Sky for art, and my Wattpad and AO3 for fanfictions. All my socials are bored in a good way, don't forget the underscores, and I always try to respond to DMs. You wanna face me in Showdown? I'm trainer_bored, and usually am available every now and again. And remember, always, stay bored.